Hey there, boys and girls, and welcome to Sonic Boom TV episode 126, The Metal Years, 1981 to 1993, we'll call it. The years that I was mostly active in buying, listening to, enjoying, and everything else heavy metal. My taste was for the hard rock and glam metal, mostly bands. As you can see, I got this wall back here with lots of different versions. We've got, records of some of my favorites and whatever. But the way I ran into heavy metal, and what I call heavy metal, because people today like to make fun of, the glam metal and call it hair metal and all that other stuff. They like to poke fun at it like it was terrible, but that back then was heavy metal. Not what we have today, which is it's heavy metal today too, but it's different. It's way different kind of thing. So anyway, the way it started for me was, I guess it was around 1981, 82, somewhere in there. I believe 1981, when Def Leppard's "Bring It On" Heartbreak was on the radio. Now, at that point, I was, I guess, 10 years old, so I may or may not have heard other things that could have been heavy metal, but I didn't know, and you know what they were, and that was the first song that clicked with me as something different, and even though it was kind of a ballady kind of song, it was where I wanted to go, for when you find what your music is. That was my music then, and so that was "Bring It On" Heartbreak was on High and Dry. So this version has a different cover than the original release, and it also has the "Bring It On" the Heartbreak remix as well as the regular version. So I don't know if the remix was something for the radio. I don't know. There's no bad words or anything in it. So what I'm going to do here is this is going to be multiple videos. I don't know how long this is going to last. It's going to depend on my phone. I realize I have more cassettes than I thought. They're not all heavy metal, but I got to go through everything. So, what I'm going to do is go through the cassettes. They're kind of in alphabetical order, but there's no rhyme or reason to when they came out or anything like that. I'm trying to, that era between those years, and then maybe, if there may be some things that came out later in here too, but we'll just go with that, and I'm going to try to show them to you kind of quick and just go through what I have, and then maybe I'll say some things about certain ones. So this came out in 81 or so, but I didn't own this. My first real hard rock heavy metal album that I ever owned was something my sister gave for my birthday. And she gave it to me, and I actually have both of the cassettes she had, because and this one has nothing to do with heavy metal, but I'm going to show them to you guys anyway. I've showed this before, but she gave me, well, let me take it out, the debut album by Zebra, which was used, and it's kind of dirty looking. It was like that when I got it, so that's why I believe this came out in 83. I believe I got this in 84 or 85. That was the first actual album I owned as far as heavy metal hard rock goes. And the other album that she gave me was also probably used, and it's called Roxanne, the complete story of Roxanne, the album by Dr. J.R. Cool and the other Roxannes. That was a hip hop album back then. So, but those were my first albums. But anyway, so back in the day, before I knew I wanted to be a graphic designer as my life, I had made the cover of a zebra that I found in National Geographic, a zebra's butt, and I made that little album cover, and I've been having this for, since 83. Probably 84, 85, something like that. So, Zebra, Hometown Boys, nobody has that cover besides me. So, what I'm going to do first is go through some of the stuff that I found straggling around my apartment here. I'm disappointed because I have lost 3 things that I know of. First thing is Kiss. Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. I had been missing the cover, the case for this, for years, and I found it, and I had it in the case, and I decided I was going to play this 2 weeks ago or so. I don't know what to do with the case again. So the case is lost again. So somewhere in this apartment. The other two things is can't find my Junkyard debut album cassette. Well, I have the record back here, but it's not an original. It's the redo from a couple years ago. And my South Gang Tainted Angel cassette was something I've been wanting to listen to for a long time, and I knew where it was. It was in my bedroom, but I think it fell behind something, and I don't know. I can't find it right now, so not in any time soon. Anyway, so let's look at the stragglers first, and then we'll start going through these boxes and see what I got. No more disappointments. So we've also got Def Leppard's Pyromania. This is one of those BMG or whatever cassettes where they put the junk at the bottom and ruin the covers. Got a lot of those in my life. Then we've got another Zebra album, Zebra's live album. This is a really good album. If you like Led Zeppelin, that's the closest thing. Imagine Led Zeppelin and the Beatles having a baby, and they called it Zebra. That's basically kind of what Zebra sounds like to me. And I love it. Whatever. So then we've got a band that I knew of when I was kind of young, but I didn't own anything for a while. But I had friends that had a couple of the records, and they were always kind of scary, but I liked it anyway. And that would be Iron Maiden. Well, what we got here? I found in a Goodwill one day. I went in there, and for 25 cents a piece, I found a bunch of their cassette singles. Got Running Free, 2 Minutes to Midnight, Stranger in a Strange Land, The Number of the Beast, and The Trooper. And so all these are singles, but they have extra songs on them. Looks like they all have 3 songs on them. Well, some of them have 2, most of them have 3. So that was cool. These are actually worth a few bucks. I think they're like 24 or 25 bucks a piece if you bought them off of somebody on Discogs. But those will stay in my collection till I die. And then I also found the Iron Maiden Made in Japan. Now, it took me a while to really get into Iron Maiden, but and I kind of stuck with them for a while, and then I kind of got out of them. So I haven't got the last couple things that they put out, but I probably will. I would have bought that brand new one, but the record was like $65 it's a triple album or whatever. Not doing that. Next up, we got a band that I don't know where they were from, and I found them in a magazine or something, and I wrote to them, and they were called Paingate. And this is a live album. You can find this on Discogs. It says Paingate Live Driven. It looks heavier than it is. The last time I listened to it, I was like, that's not very heavy. But, I used to write back in the 80s and 90s. I used to write bands. If I found them in a magazine and they had an address or something, I sent them something and see if I could get anything out of it. Especially if they were unknown. Because a lot of times I would get CDs or cassettes, or one time I got a record. But that's a different story. Next up, we got Mr. Big, their debut album. This is the only format I have this in. I don't have a CD or a record of this one. I'd like to get it on vinyl or CD, because, but don't have either one of those. And then finally, of the loose stuff that I've got out here, we got Europe. This one I bought in a record CD tape store years ago, and it was kind of like a head shop, I guess. They sold like paraphernalia for drug use and all that. And the guy didn't want to sell me this. He was aggravated that I was going to buy Europe. Why are you selling it if you didn't want me to buy it, right? So let's go through the boxes. I've got a bunch of them, and see what we got. I'm gonna pull. Luckily, most of these boxes are, they're mixed with everything. They're in alphabetical order, so it won't be that hard, and they're not all heavy metal. So I want to pull out everything. We got AC/DC's "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap." That one we used to. There's a song on this one. I think it's on this one. Yeah, Big Balls. We used to, when we were kids, we used to wrestle, and we used to like pretend like we were like real wrestlers, like and stuff, and so every kid in the neighborhood, had a theme song for when we wrestled, and so what we would do is somebody have a boom box, and we'd be in somebody's yard or in their house or in the bed or the bedroom or whatever, and jumping off the dressers and all kind of crazy stuff, and my friend came out to Big Balls every time, and we had to listen to the whole song because that was the rule. You get to listen to your whole song before we had to wrestle, and we used to beat the crap out of each other, and it was funny. But that was the funniest song. Everybody else just had some kind of rock song or something, and that guy had that. So then we also got another one that would be hard rock, and that's Aerosmith's "Permanent Vacation." I have quite a few Aerosmith albums. This is the only cassette I have, I believe, that I've found anyway. I'm skipping things here. The other one, they just put this out on vinyl, and I wanted to get it, but I missed it. And that's Alcatraz. I don't believe there's any vocals on this, but it's got I believe what's his name from Megadeth? Marty Freeman, I think, is on this. Maybe I may be wrong. Yngwie Malmsteen is on this. I'm sorry, not Marty Freeman. That's who the guy that was on this. So I do have a couple other Alcatraz albums though, on vinyl. So that's pretty cool. Back. The other one, I know this is a heavy band, and I haven't listened to this in a long, long time. And that is The Accused, Splatter Rock. Now this would have came later. Probably got this in the 90s. When I was in college, because I believe I got that out of this, like, one day in college in a student union area, there was just this appearance of a bunch of boxes of cassettes and stuff, and I took a bunch of them, and a lot of them were like alternative or heavy metal kind of stuff, but they were like Christian rock kind of stuff. And so probably not even going to pull any of those out because I don't remember what they were. I listened to them a few times, and there was a couple of them that I did like, but I just can't remember anything about them at this point because it's been 20 years, something like that. So next up, we got Accept. We got 3 of their albums. Trying to show them all at once here. All with that the song titles at the bottom. We got Metal Heart, Russian Roulette, and Restless and Wild. These I don't have any of these on any other format either. I don't believe. There's a lot of cassettes I have that don't have CDs or records of, which is crazy. So that's that. Then we go back and we got 2 from another band that I found just by writing to them. We got 2 EPs by a band called Blackjack Bomber. My dog's gonna cough in the middle of this video. Violent Playground is this one, and that one's just Blackjack Bomber. These are 2 EPs or demos or whatever you want to call them. They were really good. They're kind of more on the hard rock side. Couple ballads in there. Pretty good stuff. Then we've got a band that a lot of people say they don't like them for some reason. Excuse me. But I think they're like a great, great band. I don't have anything on vinyl yet, but I definitely have this album, Psycho Cafe. I have several CDs as well. Psycho Cafe is really good. If you don't know this band, check them out because they were in with the hair band glam rock stuff, but they were different, and that's probably why people say they don't like them because they were just a different sound. and they even sort of kind of did like almost a goth kind of sound on a future release. I'll get to that when we do CDs. Another one was kind of a super group. I'll say these are hard rock. They fit right in though, and that was Bad English. Self-titled album. I think that's the only album they put out. Let's see. Here's another one I got in the 90s, maybe. Later, but it's I believe it's thrash metal, and it's called Artillery. And it's Terror Squad, Fear of Tomorrow. It's 2 full-length albums for the price of 1, if you can see that. So that's an interesting one. I haven't listened to that in a while. I want to start listening to some of these cassettes because they've just been sitting for forever, and there's stuff here that I'll never listen to ever because I don't have it in any other version, and I don't. So I got to pull these cassettes out and start doing something. Here's a real good one. Arch, Another Return to Church Hill. This one, I think there's a different cover for this if you get the CD. I don't know if it folds out or not now. This is real good. They had more than one album, but this one was the best one. And that's the only one I own physically. I do have some MP3s of some of their other stuff. And then I've got 2 from Armored Saint. The singer for this was in Anthrax for a little while. We've got Saints Will Conquer and Symbol of Salvation. I believe Symbol of Salvation was the one I really liked back in the day. Good band. I should get more of their stuff. It's one that you don't think about unless you're thinking about them. Here's one that I don't know anything about, but it's called Anchor Weight, and it's Corpus Christi is the name of the album. I don't know if I'm sure that's some kind of metal. Not sure what kind, but some kind. Moving right along. This is one of my favorite albums from the 3 of my favorite albums coming up here. Okay, we got, first off, stuff's falling apart here. We got Bullet Boys, self-titled album. This is when they were kind of a glam metal band. They changed their sound to something really bad nowadays. The first 2 albums are pretty good, and then after that they just, I don't know. But that right there is one of my favorite albums from that era. 2 more that are my favorite albums from that era. Britney Fox, self-titled debut album. They fit in with Cinderella and another band called Tangier. If you don't know about them, check them out. They were all from Philadelphia area, and I guess they were friends because I know they supported each other. And they sorry, I'm losing my shirt here. They toured and stuff together. Cinderella and Britney Fox kind of have a similar sound as far as vocals go. Tangier does not. And anyway, the other one is Boys in Heat. Both of those albums are fantastic. I would love to get these on vinyl. I have them on CD, but not vinyl. And then the other one, which I do have on vinyl, because it was just released, is Britney Fox's Bite Down Hard. That's another one. That was my least favorite of their albums. And I think they had one other one. No, the other one is my least favorite. It's like something Motor Shark, something Steelhead Motor Shark or something. It was terrible. Don't even bother with that one. I didn't buy it. I have the MP3s of it, and that was enough to make me know that I don't want that album. Then next up, probably the hard rock, not quite heavy metal, but looked the part and fit right in band. That would be Bon Jovi. You got Bon Jovi self-titled. Bon Jovi 7,800 degrees. I was going to say 58. 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and it says on there includes a lyrics and a rock star trading card. It's the only album I have that says it includes a rock star trading card. I do have rock star trading cards though. That's a whole nother video we could do. a whole nother video. Then we've got the Bon Jovi Slippery When Wet album that doesn't say Slippery When Wet anywhere on the cover, but it does on the side. And then lastly, Bon Jovi's New Jersey. New Jersey and Slippery When Wet, I think these are friggin' fantastic albums. They're perfect. They're flawless, as they say, kind of albums. And speaking of flawless, one of the best albums of anything really is this next one, Cinderella, Long Cold Winter. I would love to get that on a vinyl, but no luck. I don't have any of their other stuff on cassette, but I do have a record, and I do have a couple CDs, but I've only got the first 3 albums. I don't have the 4th one. I think they only had 4. I don't have the last one with the climb something or other. I don't know what it is. Moving right along. This video is already 20 minutes long. We're just into the second box. Next up, I'm gonna move right along. We got Helix. Walking the Razor's Edge. That one's got Rock You on it. Everybody knows that song. Pretty awesome. Got 2 Guns N' Roses cassette singles for Don't Cry and You Could Be Mine. I had those upside down. Sorry about that. Don't Cry has both versions of the song, and then You Could Be Mine has Civil War on it as well. So that was cool. Then we got more cassette singles. Great White, Once Bitten, Twice Shy. Oops, Once Bitten, Twice Shy. And Call It Rock and Roll. And they have extra songs on these two. This one is real good. The extra songs are Slow Ride and Wasted Rock Ranger. And then this one's got Need Your Love Tonight and Down the Doctor. I used to like to get singles because when they had 3 songs on them, because that was always something good to me. They used to have, extra songs. I didn't like when they just did a live version or something. But this, I don't remember what this was. Grip Incorporated. It's somebody famous was in that. I don't know. Then we got back to Great White again. Oops. And we've got Once Bitten and Twice Shy. And I do have a couple other albums on CD, I believe. Next one, when the Russians came to town, they gave us Gorky Park, and that was cool. I really like this album. It's a little corny to some people, but I really liked it. And they do some kind of traditional Russian music intertwined with their kind of hard rock, heavy metal, what have you. The next one was a hard rock band. I guess they were hard rock. And that was Glass Tiger. They sang, what was their hit? I don't know if it's on here. I don't know. They have a big hit song, though. One hit wonder. And then another one that was kind of hard rock, kind of not, kind of something. I don't know. It was Giant, the last of the Runaways. Really good album. All right, moving right along. We have a soundtrack here from John Bon Jovi for the Young Guns 2 album. That was a good one. A couple hits on that. Well worth looking at. Then we got a band, which I'm gonna. This is when they changed their name. They used to be called Centillion, and I think everything by them as well on cassette. Because this is one of those bands I wrote to, and they became Insult to Injury, and they put out 2 albums, I believe. I got the first one. I don't have the second one on CD. But Insult to Injury is a sampler, just 2 songs. They were like a thrash metal band. One of the first thrash metal bands I got into. Then we've got House of Lords, Sahara. Real good album. This one, I didn't like as much as people told me I was going to like it. It's Halloween, The Best, The Rest, and The Rare. They said people told me I was going to really like that band, but I never really got into them that much. But a band that I did get into a lot would be coming up next, and that is Kix. I've got more Kix stuff than I have right here. Oh, here we go. That's why. Got Cool Kids, one of my favorite Kix songs. Midnight Dynamite, also another great Kix song. Their best album, one of the best albums of the era. They blew it away on this one, and it's called Blow My Fuse. That's if you want to get a Kix album that's kicks ass, get that one. And another one that don't go far from that is Hot Wire. And Kix, they were around a long time. Put out a lot of albums. But never really got super popular. Except for that one song, Don't Close Your Eyes. Everybody's heard that ballad. Let's see what we got next. Coming up. Some Kiss, Alive. I'm not a huge Kiss fan, but I like them enough. I don't have a lot of their albums. I have a couple records and a couple, maybe 2 or 3 CDs. And a couple tapes, which I can't find the cover for one of them. Another one, one hit wonder, sort of King of the Hill. They were a little different. Their hit song was it had a trumpet in it or something. Saxophone, excuse me. I don't know what it was called. It's been so long. But anyway, there's a video for it. But I couldn't find this one on Discogs, this version of it, because the cassette is the wrong color. So, who knows. Then we've got 2 awesome ones. I don't know how many albums the band put out. I only have the first 2. I have the first 2 on cassette, vinyl, and maybe even CD. I'm not sure about the CD though. And it's Kingdom Come. We got In Your Face and self-titled Kingdom Come. Very good band. They got accused of being Led Zeppelin ripoffs as well, which is unfortunate because I don't think they were. I thought they stood on their own pretty well. Then we've got one called Kick Axe. Vices. Don't know anything about that one. Don't remember. We had Keel. The Right to Rock. Don't remember much about that one either. Another one. This was like a promotional copy. I guess this is the equal version of the cassette version of the white label promo. And it's Kane Roberts, Saints and Sinners. I don't remember that one either. There's a lot I don't remember. And then Missing My Junkyard, self-titled, but I do have 6s, 7s, and 9s. So a hype sticker on it and everything, man. That's a pretty good one. Actually, that's a great one. I wish I could get that one on vinyl. I haven't seen it yet. And then we've got another one that I wrote off for a band that I wrote to and got something back, and it was called No Illusion. Kind of a mellow, ballady kind of hard rock and stuff. And then Law and Order. This was one of my favorite albums when I was in high school. Guilty of Innocence. I loved it. I never found it on CD until maybe like 2 years ago. And then I think something was wrong with the CD. But there is one questionable song. They're talking about doing things with a very young girl, so I don't know what the deal with that was, but it always made me uncomfortable. So what you gonna do? I guess in the 80s it might have been different, but I don't believe so. So I don't give them a pass for it, but you know. Then we've got two by one of my favorite bands from the era as well. We got L.A. Guns, self-titled, and L.A. Guns, Cocked and Loaded. Cocked and Loaded is one of the best albums, but their self-titled album is really great too. Get those if you want, like, if you're into Guns N' Roses, you need to get them too, because those guys were part of, some of those guys anyway, were part of Guns N' Roses when they started, and it's a little more raw, I guess, than Guns N' Roses was, which is kind of hard to believe, because Guns N' Roses' first album, you know, Appetite for Destruction, was really a raw kind of album. Next up, what we got? Oh, we're still in the. I think we went out of order there for a second. We got Cinderella's Heartbreak Station. That's where they kind of went country sounding, bluesy country though. You know, it wasn't that. Here's one that I found later on, probably in the 90s, and it's called Coroner. This is probably like maybe, I don't know if it's thrash, but it's called Grin. I'm sorry. I do have another Coroner on vinyl, and I haven't listened to either one of them in a long time. This one I count as, it's kind of alternative rock, but it's also kind of heavy metal. And the drummer ended up being in Guns N' Roses, so I guess you're gonna call it what you want. Man, my shirt is doing weird things, guys. The Cult, Sonic Temple. I feel like this is at very least a hard rock album, but it's close to a metal album, I think. And it's really great album. You should get that in any format you can. You won't be disappointed. Another one, Supergroup, Damn Yankees. That's a real fun album too. It's you know, radio friendly for sure. They had some hits, but good job. I mean, good band to check out. Here's one I don't know much about. It's called Defiance. It's backwards as well. The cassette, it's like upside down, like the front. So it's Defiance, Product of Society. Probably a thrash band. I don't remember. It's on RC Records, so it's definitely a thrash band. But I don't remember. It's one of those ones I think I got from that thing in college. And then we got some more Def Leppard. We've got their first album, On Through the Night, which I never knew about when it first came out until a friend of mine in like 8th grade showed me this cassette, and then I went out and found it myself. And we've got, of course, Hysteria with no case. Hysteria, like, you know, everybody knows the story of Hysteria. It was one of the biggest selling albums of all time. And then we've got When Love and Hate Collide, cassette single. I don't know where I got this one from, guys. And it's Can't Keep Away from the Flame is the other song on it. Don't know about that one, boys and girls. Then keep on going. This box might be pretty easy. Oh, there's another one. The Electric Boys. Funko Metal Carpet Ride. This is a good band too. I have one other album by them on CD, but this one has All Hips and Lips on it. That was their big hit. It was kind of a what do you call it? One of those songs that just, you know, it's popular because it's kind of funny, but it's maybe not meant to be funny. But anyway, that was all they ever had that made it big. Then we got some more Europe. We've got Wings of Tomorrow, which is really good, and then the excellent, of course, Final Countdown, which you can see it back here as well. I found this not too long ago for like $2, which was pretty incredible to me. Then we've got some more, probably thrash or something or other that I'm not too sure about. EXE. Stricken by Night. I don't know anything about this one at all. Couldn't tell you. Don't even know where I got that one from. But it's been around forever. This one I used to listen to quite a bit in college. This is kind of a thrash metal as well. It's called Excruciation. And it's Anno Domini, an anthology of the past. I liked this when I was in college. I found it, I think for $1 somewhere, and I just picked it up. Thought the cover looked kind of interesting. Next up, we got two from Fastway. Been hearing a lot about this band in a while. I haven't listened to this in forever. This one's the self-titled Fastway. This is Waiting for the Roar. I have this one on vinyl as well. I haven't listened to them in a long time. I know they're like a regular hard rock heavy metal band. Then the all-time classic, one of the best albums ever. Just straight up, this defines like the sleazy heavy metal, hard rock, Sunset Strip, whatever you want to call it, album, and that is Faster Pussycats, self-titled album. This one is a banger, as they say. Oh, and I forgot I had my LA Guns hat on. I was looking for my Rip magazine hat and I couldn't find it. Then we've got Fate's Warning, The Spectre Within. They are, I don't think they're thrash. They were a Metal Blade, so they're definitely heavy metal, but they're not that heavy, from what I remember. And then we've got Extreme 2, Porno Graffiti. That's the one with More Than Words. Everybody knows that one. I do have a couple of their other albums and some soundtracks that they were on. I just kind of rode the wave on that one. I never knew anything about them until that song came out, and I picked up a little bit of their stuff. Then the next one, this was real good, Japanese heavy metal, and it's EZO, Fire Fire. I've been looking for that forever on CD and vinyl, and I have not yet to find it. I know it's out there, though. Alright, that's the end of that box. That was good. What's the time on this? We had 36 minutes. I don't know how long this video will go. I think it runs out at a certain period, and we might have to do another one. I'm trying to go fast. Okay, so what we got here, and the next one. Oh, another great album, Leather Wolf, Street Ready. The only Leather Wolf album I have, and I know they're good. And I never find them. I can never find their stuff. And I say that I can never find stuff, but it's because I don't usually go online looking for stuff like that. I usually try to go find it in stores or thrift stores and stuff. And the Law, I believe they were just like a hard rock band. Don't know too much about them. We got another one, Little Angels. And that one is Young Gods. I think they were kind of like Trickster, kind of in that vein of heavy metal. Then we've got Lynch Mob with George Lynch from Dokken, and that one is Wicked Sensation, which was the hit song as well. Check that one out if you can. Here's one that's I believe it's all instrumental, called Mama's Boys. Found that at Kmart one time. It was like 25 cents. And I said, "Mom, can I buy this? It's 25 cents." And she said, "Yep." Then we've got the Macaulay Schenker Group, Save Yourself. I have a bunch of his stuff on record now. I found a few of them not too long ago. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, then we get into the big time now. The ones that everybody should own, and probably does. Motley Crue's Shout at the Devil. Now, this one has the faces on the front of the cover, and usually it has a pentagram, which I actually like this cover better. I just think the pentagram thing is all kind of silly. And this shows who they are, and what they look like. And then we've got Theater of Pain. People don't like that one these days. They loved it back in the day, as far as I know. Girls, one of my favorites. Actually, if you can see down there, you'd see I got two copies of it on vinyl. One's an original, one's the 30th anniversary. And Dr. Feelgood. Now, I own probably everything they have in one format or another. I have a couple on vinyl. The only one I don't own a physical copy, for sure of, well, I'm not going to say the only one, but the only, Too Fast for Love. I don't own that at all. I love that album. Have them on MP3s, but I do not have a physical copy of that album at all, any shape or form, and it kind of aggravates me. on to the next one. Here's one that people definitely made fun of. Definitely should not have as given them as much crap as they did. And I loved this album when it came out. And it might have been cheesy, but I had a girlfriend, so maybe that helped because she was into it too. That's Nelson, After the Rain. They what they have? Can't Live Without Your Love and Affection. After the Rain. There was a lot of ballads on this thing, so that was funny. I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. And here's one. This might be metal. It might be punk. I don't remember. But it was a band called Pitbull. And this is another one that I wrote to them. They didn't have any cover for it or anything. And I wrote to that band, and they sent me a cassette. It's a demo. 3 songs. Good stuff. And we got a band that I've got some CDs, some records, some cassettes, and not all of anything of any version. That's Poison. We got Flesh and Blood, and we got Native Tongue. I hated this album when it came out. I didn't like it at all, and I don't think I've listened to it since maybe like a month after it came out. I don't even remember any songs on it. And Poison was one of my favorite bands. Then we've got something I know it had to be from the 90s, called Possession. They're like what do they call that? Death metal or black metal maybe. I have a couple. They sent me. I wrote to them too. I didn't know who they were, but I just wrote to them, and they sent me some CDs and this cassette. And the CDs are worth like $100. Again, they sent me two copies of the same thing, and it's like an EP or something. It's like $100 on Discog, so might be able to get some money off of that one day. Then we've got Power Surge. Don't have a clue on who they are. This one is 91, so then we got a band called Prong. Face Value. It's a single. Has 2 songs on it. They had a song called "Snap Your Fingers, Snap Your Neck," which was awesome. Then one of my favorites. I moved on and got most of their albums on CD until Operation Mindcrime 2 came out. I think I hated that album. So, but we got Queensryche, the EP. This is the version that has 4 songs and it's repeated on both sides. So you got the CD I have has 5. They added a song called The Prophecy. We've got Rage for Order, and we've got Operation Mindcrime, the original. This is one of the greatest heavy metal albums ever. I don't care what anybody says. We'll fight if we have to on that. Then the band that really broke it all for the hair band, glam rock, whatever, Quiet Riot, Metal Health. That's the album that broke through to radio, and everybody followed, just took over the 80s into the early 90s. Then we've got Condition Critical, which was not as good, but still a good album. Had a couple cover songs on it. Actually, they covered Slade, about 2 or 3 songs. And then another one, I like this album. It's just called Quiet Riot, or QR maybe. I think I have that one on vinyl as well. I have a couple of their albums on records and a couple on CD. And that's about it on that. Then another one of my favorites, Rat Detonator. Boy, I played that album a lot. I had most of their albums on vinyl for some reason. I don't know where I got them. Well, I know where I got them, but I don't know why I got them on vinyl and then I got this one on a cassette. Don't know. I have a couple on CD as well. Great band. I loved almost everything they did. And that was that. 2 more boxes of this and we'll be done. Hopefully we can get this into an hour. Go quicker. Then we've got a band called Rigor Mortis, and it's Rigor Mortis versus the Earth. They're like they're a thrash band. Oops, upside down. They're a kind of thrash band. I had their first album on vinyl. That one's worth a lot of money. Then we've got another good old glam band, and that's Rough Cut. Rough Cut Wants You. Very good one. That was a good one. And we've got Saigon Kick the Lizard. This is the only one I have on cassette. I have 3 albums on CD and 2, going to be 3 on vinyl. The third one, Water, is coming out. It isn't out yet. Then we go to the band I've mentioned before. That was Centillion. That's a self-titled EP. It has about 3 or 4 songs. And then this one, it's called Crispy Elevator Crunch. And that one's got a couple songs on it as well. Very good band. Like I said, probably one of the first thrash bands I got into. And we got Skid Row, self-titled album. Skid Row, self-titled album over there. Slave to the Grind. This one is the Get the F Out version. There's another version that has Beggar's Day, the song. I think they put out an album, a vinyl album, and it had both versions of that, so it had both of the songs. And I bought let me go back. This is actually the Beggar's Day version. I bought the CD and the cassette. I couldn't. I remember my reasoning at the time was that I couldn't pay for the CD, the price of the CD, for 2 copies of this album for one song. So I had to pick which one I wanted on CD and which one I was going to take on a cassette. Silly reasoning for that, but that's how I got it. So next up was Beside Ourselves. I didn't like this one that much. It was okay. And then another great one, Stick It To You by Slaughter. That was a real good one. Real popular one with the girls. Then we've got The Storm with A Broken Case. I think that's John Corabi. The guy that was in Motley Crue for one album. Then we got which I don't have a lot by this band, but I do like them. And I you know. I don't care what people think about them. They're a religious band. They believe what they want to believe. I believe what I want to believe, and I don't care what anybody says. And so, Striper, In God We Trust. This one, that was a real good album. They're not like, see, the thing with like Christian rock usually is that it's a lot of times it's corny sounding. And Striper never was corny. I don't, as far as I can remember. They just they were heavy metal, and they looked heavy metal, and they but they gave their message, and it's a good message. And then we've got another one, Against the Law. That was the one when they kind of dropped that image for a little while. But they went right back to it. And that's a good album too. Really good album. And this is the band I talked about before, Tangier. This one's called Four Winds. I also have a CD by them. Different album. Real good band. You gotta check them out. Then we're on to another one that I knew before most people that I know knew, but they always try to claim they know. They've been knowing them since the beginning, but no, they didn't. Nobody I knew them. And it's Tesla. His Mechanical Resonance. I have this on vinyl and I think CD. This one, Tesla's The Great Radio Controversy. I love this album. This is where I found them. Actually, no, this is not where I found them. I did hear Little Susie's on the Up off of this one first, and then I got this, and I was the only one listening to this for a long time before it hit with Heaven's Trail and what was the other one? Heaven's Trail, No Way Out. Love Song was the big ballad, and that's what got one. Oh, and then I have 5-Man Acoustical Jam. I don't think I have this one on any other format besides CD. Here's another one that I got by Writing the Band, and it's called Thrill Seeker. They my girlfriend liked this. My girlfriend at the time, I should say, liked this so much. She wrote to them as well, and they sent her this and a different CD cassette. And I wrote them back saying, "Hey man, stop hitting on my girlfriend." And they just wrote a letter back. They didn't send me this cassette. They sent her. They just they wrote back. Thought that was funny that I was messing. Said they were flirting with my girlfriend at the time. So that was pretty good. But then I lost all that stuff. Here's one I want so bad on vinyl or CD or whatever. Tora Tora Surprise Attack. They have a couple albums out, and this is the only one I've ever got, and it's great. It's kind of bluesy. They do have a video for one of their songs that I remember, but I don't know. And then there was a band called Urgent, Cast the First Stone, and they had one hit. What was their hit? I don't know what their hit was. Love Can Make You Cry was their big hit. Then we've got another one. I found this on CD a couple years ago. Finally, I know they have other albums, but they're from Germany and they didn't do too big in America. But Victory, Culture Killed the Native. If you can find this album, it will rock you real good if you're into the 80s heavy metal glam kind of stuff. And it's not really too much glam. But it's really, really good album. And if you can find anything by them, check it out. I mean, that one for sure. But I've never seen any of their other albums. And I was so surprised when I found the CD, a couple years ago. Anyway, last box. Almost done, guys. Almost done. Gonna maybe make it right at an hour. We've got Winger, self-titled, and In the Heart of the Young. These are the only two Winger albums I have. I do have a single on a cassette for a song from their third album. I don't know what it was. This one's called White Trash. I don't know what this is. This might be heavy metal. This might be punk rock. I'm not sure. I haven't listened to that in ages. Then we've got Whitesnake, which was pretty much hard rock up until the next two albums. This one's live in the heart of the city. I could have bought this on vinyl, but they wanted way too much money for it, and it wasn't in the best condition. It was at a little antique store, whatever you want to call it. But then we got Whitesnake. They're self-titled. I guess it was 87. This one blew up. I mean, I got this on vinyl. It's so great. Such a great album. And this one also I thought was a great album, The Slip of the Tongue. And these were they were on that glam metal kick at that point. They weren't just hard rock like they had been previously. Then we've got a couple classics. Warrant, Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich, and Cherry Pie. That was the first concert I went to, was actually Poison and Warrant. Love those albums. Those are great. They are available on vinyl, and I just have not been able to get them. Hopefully I will be able to at some point, but I don't know. Then the girls who rocked harder than anybody, Vixen. We got Vixen's self-titled album and Rev It Up. And I think Rev It Up came with a sticker, and I took it and stuck it on something, and I regretted it right as soon as I did it, because now I don't have that sticker anymore. It probably makes it worth a lot of money. I don't know. And then we've got another, I guess, thrash band, Violence. I think I have a CD by them as well. That's called Oppressing the Masses. That was on Megaforce, so it's definitely thrash. Then we got Wrathchild America. I love this album. It's kind of thrashy. This is called Climbing the Walls. I have this on vinyl, and I have the vinyl 12-inch single of that song. And we got two by a band called Zentrix. Show it. Zentrix. That is For Whose Advantage, and this one is called Dilute to Taste. And they have a cover of Ghostbusters on here. I think it's a live version on this one. The Ghostbusters, like Ray Parker Jr. song, Who You Gonna Call Ghostbusters, and all that good stuff. Then we got two more by Zebra, the No Telling Lies, and 3.5. all two great albums. Zebra's one of my favorite bands of all time. And then we got another hard rock one that another band I wrote to called 21 Psych. I believe I have a CD by them as well. And then after that, we pretty much got a couple soundtracks and stuff like that. We've got the Ford Fairlane soundtrack, and I believe that has maybe Bon Jovi on it or something. Maybe somebody else. I'm not too sure. The Make a Difference Foundation. This is the Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell album. Got all Skid Row, Scorpions, Gorky Park, Bon Jovi, Cinderella, Motley Crue, a couple others on there. Pretty cool. Then we got two albums that this is what introduced me to Metallica, actually. Rock Classics Volume 3 and Volume 1. I believe Anthrax is on here as well. We got Motley Crue, Great White, Faster Pussycat, Helix, Accept, Dio, The Cult, Ace Frehley, Megadeth, Beastie Boys. Megadeth, this is the first introduction to Megadeth as well. Tesla, Def Leppard, Queensryche, Triumph, Black and Blue, Metallica, Dokken, Gary Moore, Ted Nugent, and Autograph. And the Megadeth was Wake Up Dead, and Metallica was For Whom the Bell Tolls. Two great songs by those two bands, and that was my introduction to both of those bands. Then we got the classic, everybody wants this nowadays, the Shocker soundtrack. This has got Dangerous Toys, I think Alice Cooper, the Dudes of Wrath, which was a bunch of famous people. Gretchen, stop! Sorry, guys. I'm sorry she's doing that. She got something wrong with her, but she didn't tell me what it is. We got Dangerous Toys. Now she's making me cough. Iggy Pop, Megadeth, Bonfire, which is right here, and Saraya. And then Dudes of Wrath, like I said, were multiple famous artists that got together and did some songs. And that, my friends, I believe, will take us to the end. We're going to listen to my dog cough her brains out. I got a few loose ones here. I don't know what they might be. Oh, we've got Metallica's And Justice for All. This was somebody else's because I didn't buy this. Somebody gave me that without the cover. Whew, this is a long episode, guys, of not a whole lot of great content, right? And that's it. That's the last of my cassettes. Like I said at the beginning, I'm missing some stuff that I'll find eventually as I work on this apartment in the next couple of months, I guess. Who knows? That's it for this episode. I will be back starting doing some CDs. I won't do as long of an episode the next time. I just wanted to get through the cassettes so I can put them back where they belong because they are in a different position. And it'll be better with the when I do cassettes. I mean, when I do the CDs and when I do records because it's bigger and I'll be able to show more and all that stuff. So, and I'll do it in a shorter time. That's it. Right under an hour. Talk to you guys later.